Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
And crash. You son of
Oh, God. Hold on. Pause.
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
They were targeting Wall Street when they should have been targeting Capitol Hill. They should have been targeting DC. This is the same thing, and this is what people keep missing.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
You bought GameStop at 400, didn't you? To the moon, baby. To the moon.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to In the Chaos. My name is Brad. That is Fat Man Zoom. He's back in the States.
I'm back, baby.
The stock market's crazy and chaotic. We made it our mission to help you guys own it. And Fat Man Zoom, it's actually green today, even though everybody else feels like they're red.
Bro, it's crazy. Like, for anybody, a lot of you watching, I'm sure you're in the same shoes as us,
Yeah.
Which is the market. The market is actually performing really well, has been, and will continue. But our accounts, full disclosure, are not performing as well.
I'm getting wrecked today.
Yeah, so it's
I'm getting
crazy.
wrecked. I'm in it with you guys.
Let me shout out our starting five: Sam, Karam, Victor Toledo, John, Scott. You are in the starting five. But here's what we did, because it feels like all those good stuff is gone. So in the spirit of Own the Chaos, guys, welcome to Own the Chaos. The market is crazy and chaotic, never more so than the stuff we're in now. And we wanted to talk about oversold stocks, a lot of stocks that moved down.
Yeah.
We wanted to go over 10 of those oversold stocks. And Brad, I wanted you to take a look at them. And I want to end this, and make sure you guys stick around, because I want to talk about the ones we actually are thinking about buying, because there's a lot of good ones that I think may be good dip buy opportunities. So what stocks do we think are oversold?
Yeah, so we'll start off with the first one's going to be Coinbase. And old Aunt Kathy,
Yeah.
you want to? I mean, I'm hurting. You're hurting. Aunt Kathy is real hurting on Coinbase right now. She actually went head first into this on IPO day and has done nothing but go straight down since. It's sitting at 257. RSI is sitting at 28, and I want to just talk about RSI real quick and just kind of have you guys understand, people look at RSI and some people, I guess beginner traders, will look at this and say, oh, well, it's at 30. It's got to be a buy. It's oversold. But just understand that this is an indicator. It just kind of shows how oversold something may be, but it doesn't mean that it can't go lower. And we've seen that from something like a Coinbase, for example. And so this is sitting at 28. Obviously indicates that it is oversold. Can it go lower? Sure. But man, this seems like it's pretty crazy right now. Down 5% just today. Continues to fall down. The next one,
You were in a firm.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the firm.
And all these stocks, 7 of the 10 actually have an RSI of 30 or lower.
Yeah.
There's a couple that don't.
Which is interesting, because Coinbase was so red hot out of opening of IPO day, and it actually is finally falling within a reasonable range on the RSI. So. My apologies for that, but this still looks like it's pretty crazy, sitting here at 250, which is where you wanted it on IPO day anyway.
250.51. I wanted to bring that up. A lot of you guys were on the live stream. I put in an order for 250. On that day, it didn't fill, and I said I have a good till cancel. I have that good till cancel. It came to 250.51.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to just get it.
F it.
But I think it'll still go below 251.
Probably will.
But 250. But let me ask you this question. When I said that day that I'm leaving that order in for 250, did you think that it would hit? Be honest.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I don't think anybody thought it would, other than me. I mean, and I didn't. I mean, I thought there was a very, very slim chance. But
I mean, you were essentially being like a ripoff Ritos.
yeah, for sure. And so that was what the price was expected to be, the IPO price.
Yeah.
That's why I put it in at 250. So I feel like that's what they value it at. They typically come in over. So if you can get it under 250, I think it might be a good opportunity. Coinbase is definitely one that, man, it's like you said, it's just been nothing but downhill. So we'll see what happens. What do we got next?
So this one is probably one that people haven't really looked at as oversold, and it's not oversold, but they had rocking earnings, and it's actually sold off pretty good. It's down 4% today. I've been in Under Armour for quite some time. I've been kind of jumping up and down, pounding my fist on the table that this isn't a scream and buy. I think this is going to be a good opportunity to just grab the dip on, personally.
I think from a technical perspective, that $20 it's a great opportunity, especially for an asymmetrical trade.
Yeah.
If you wanted to just try to get in,
Yeah.
and see if it stays above that 20, it might be a really good opportunity. I like that as one of the. Some of these are the pre-COVID beatdown ones.
Yeah.
This one is not. This one's a rotational one, so that one's good for sure.
Yeah. Next one's going to be MGM. It's down 6.5% today on, on nothing, essentially.
Yeah.
No reason why this is down. Down below supports. It's sitting on RSI around 44, so getting close to oversold territory as far as the RSI is concerned. I don't understand this either. I think this is another good opportunity. Some of these on this list that I have are kind of like ones that I think could potentially go lower. I just don't know how MGM goes lower given the reopening that we're going to see from this.
Yeah, they've outperformed. I really like this. I am really surprised that it got below 40.
Me too.
But it's shown a propensity to get around that area. It wants to be above that area, I believe.
Yeah.
It's really promising. This stock is really promising. And the next one we're going to talk about, which has really been beaten down in a similar space, I think they're competitors, but take your pick, MGM or the next one, which is Penn.
Penn, and they knocked earnings out of the park. I mean, this one, it's crazy to me how much this has fallen. I know that you guys know that I'm heavily invested in Penn, so I know that I could potentially have confirmation bias here, but there's nothing about those earnings that anybody could say was bad. And the outlook was great. And they mostly leaned on the regional casinos that were opening back up. They have the numbers that were coming in, the amount of people spending money per visit is much more than it was even in 2019. So that's really encouraging from the regional casino side of things. And obviously you have Barstool, which we've talked about at length. I think this is, again, a good opportunity to just buy some more Penn. I just don't understand why it's down this far.
Yeah, and let me clarify that a couple things. So first, the average spend per customer, right?
Yeah.
So it was higher than pre-COVID levels. That drove them through COVID, actually.
Yeah.
But they've maintained it. So
Right.
they anticipate that spend to stay up there. And the other thing is they saw the younger demographic come in,
Yep.
which they're maintaining. And the one thing they were missing at pre-COVID was 55 and older demographic because of COVID. And they said that they're back to pre-COVID levels, so
Yeah.
2019 levels. So you put all that together, and the factors that pushed them through COVID are staying and not pulling back.
Correct.
On top of the Barstool bets, this should go off. You're right. We could have confirmation bias. I think you do need to be careful, but this is ridiculous. And you had said, was it on Twitter that Dave Portnoy say, watch out for something that Penn?
Yeah,
there's
so
an
Dave said this morning that they have an announcement that they're going to be making that's going to be big for the company, for Barstool and for Penn, to just showcase what they're capable of doing. No idea what that means, but he said that they have something coming. So if there's more catalysts to come, then I'm going to continue to just stay in Penn. This is crazy to me.
All right, what do we got next?
Next is Zoom. Zoom is oversold. Oh, wow. On the RSI, it says it's oversold. This is one to what I was kind of alluding to where I think that there's potential for Zoom to come down a little bit further because their forward PE is like 120 times earnings. And so, from a valuation standpoint, it is expensive still, even at $290. But we still like Zoom a lot. There's a lot of people now talking about how they're not going to do remote work anymore, which is a lie. There's still a lot of people that are going to be doing remote work. It's not going away. So I'd be curious to see what Zoom's earnings look like. Watch out, because I think we could see a really good pop out of Zoom earnings in June.
Yeah, I'm excited for those earnings. I am in it. I'm down over 10%. I've been beaten down, but I don't want to be out of it. And that's one of those that it's been tough for me because it's been just seeing that kind of bleed. My account is a long-term investment account, so these things happen.
Yep.
But again, time in the market, not timing the market. I'm not trying to time it. I just think you're right. Fundamentally, you could argue that it is overvalued, but I just don't. I think the outlook is so promising, especially from an international perspective.
Yes.
It's going to be coming back quick.
I think they could grow into that valuation.
Speaking of one that's been really beaten down, this guy Palantir.
Jesus, it fell down into the teens. We haven't seen this since November. We haven't seen Palantir at these prices since November.
Wild.
And they're continuing to grow. There's nothing. I mean, they're not overvalued.
Mm-hmm.
They did a direct listing back earlier in the summer of last year, and this doesn't make any sense either. So the fact of the matter is that investors, and I'm talking like big money, hedge funds, that sort of thing, for whatever reason, they're just leaving tech and going back into cyclicals. But I think that this leaves you for a good opportunity to get in some of the good tech stuff. Palantir's definitely on that list.
Yeah, and Aunt Kathy's been loading and loading and loading on this.
She's down 32% this year.
I know, it's crazy. Rocket.
Yep.
Fat Man Zoom Rocket. Almost changed my name. Glad I didn't. I mean, they reported earnings this morning pre-market, right?
Yes.
And
this is something that I said that could potentially happen.
You called it on Stockwatch Sunday. Shout out to Stockwatch Sunday, guys. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We go live every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time if you want to check us out.
Yeah, so, this is kind of something that was a cause for concern. And I even mentioned this on Tuesday's live stream as well, that this could happen. I think now is going to be the time to be scooping up some Rocket.
Hell yeah, bro.
I mean, this is definitely oversold. I mean, we're sitting well below 30 on RSI, and I just think the gap down today, we could see a few more days of just kind of either consolidation or maybe even a little bit more red, but I don't think we see too much more of this.
Now, the next one is Airbnb. The ones we talked about before, for the most part, it's been fintech or tech in general, and like we understand the move.
Yeah.
Airbnb should not be down where it is.
No.
It's insane. And like,
definitely
it's
not.
a reopening play. Demand's high, recently IPO'd.
Yep.
I mean, if this gets, like, I can't even believe it's back to 150.
So we haven't seen 150 out of Airbnb since January. Mm-hmm. And so, which was 2 weeks, and 2 weeks prior was their IPO. So I just, this doesn't make any sense to me either. We've talked, I think part of the reason why this is selling off is Booking.com came out with earnings and expressed some of the challenges that they're having internationally because of COVID. That could pose a problem in slow growth as far as a reopening is concerned. And Airbnb has international locations, don't get me wrong, but they're primarily focused domestically. And you just were out of the country, and you said that yourself that you were having a hard time finding places to stay as far as Airbnb is concerned. So I don't think that Airbnb is going anywhere, and I would definitely look at this as an opportunity to potentially buy some. Yeah,
and people have mentioned the investment they're making in and how it could impact them. They don't have enough hosts. I don't agree with that thought process, because to me, that just means demand is high.
Yeah.
And as they get more hosts, which they will,
yep,
they're just going to fulfill that demand and exceed the revenues. Now, before you get to that one, pull up Fastly, because we did have that as one of them.
God, Fastly, jeez, I know this thing's crazy.
So Fastly,
down 30% today.
Yeah, and like it's been on our watch list, and you made a good point about it's almost like tech right now. If you beat earnings, it's going to sell off. If you miss, it's going to just crash.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Fastly did. It missed on earnings per share and on revenue.
Yes.
And it tanked
big time.
My God. I mean, don't catch a falling knife, but like,
we haven't seen these numbers.
What an opportunity.
This is something that we haven't seen. I mean, I don't know if it's an opportunity just yet, just because of the miss. I definitely think that you're going to be able to take advantage of maybe an overreaction here short term, but we haven't seen these numbers since, let's see.
Before that, it's lower than that, right?
Is it lower than 44?
It's $42.
It's 42, yeah, so before that. So let's see. June 1st of last year, so almost a year ago. Wow. 52-week lows for Fastly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Like I said, you don't want to catch a falling knife, but there's an opportunity here for sure.
Yeah.
So the last one was Uber, and Uber's one that we haven't been fans of from a long-term perspective, but I would agree with you that like this is one to keep your eye on. And why did this come to mind for you, Brad?
I don't like Uber because the Uber Eats part of what it does for restaurants, and you know as somebody who's in hospitality how restaurants feel about Uber Eats, and it's just something that they're going to have to a pill they're going to have to swallow. But there's something to be said for people who used Uber Eats over the pandemic, and they're not going to just stop using Uber Eats because things are open back up. Are they going to slow that part of their business? Potentially, it at least levels off. But the other part of this is obviously the ride sharing. If you're going back to restaurants and you're going back out to places of hospitality, you're probably going to be drinking some, maybe a lot, and you're going to need ride sharing like Uber to get you back home or take you there. And so I think that with Uber selling off today, I think this is going to be a huge opportunity for anybody looking. It's resting right now on its 200-day moving average on the daily chart. It is very oversold. And I think that this is probably a good opportunity, at least in the short term, to grab some Uber.
All right, so let's wrap this thing up. Give us the three out of all the ones we mentioned that you are considering getting into based on our conversation.
Let me go back and look at the the list here. So I think that obviously Penn's got to be on that list. Uber, I think, could potentially be something that I buy, and then Rocket.
I like Rocket. I'm not going to use Rocket. I agree with you 100%. I'm going to say Fastly. I'm going to say Airbnb. And I'm going to say Coinbase as a bit of a diversification play.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for those three. Really important, guys, scaling in more so than ever, to be careful to scale in. Make sure you're smart as far as your entries are concerned. Those are our stocks, guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. If you want to join our Chaos Crew, we give out 5 stocks every day that we're watching. Go hit that join button right next to the live. It's to subscribe. My God. Let me try that one more time. Guys, there you have it. If you want to get our 5 stocks every day, you can join the Chaos Crew. We're giving our watch list. We have a Discord. We have private Q&As. We have all the good stuff, as well as access to Brad's portfolio. Make sure you hit the join button next to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's something. It's just,
but if you're live, stay around.
Yeah. So it's crazy. And I just wanted to talk about this. Like, why people might be, you guys might be asking yourselves, why are these selling off? And how is the market still green? And we've talked about this, right? Fat Man's, like, we've been talking about this for the better part of 2 months, about this rotation, these cyclical stocks. And for me personally, like, I just didn't do it fast enough. I'm not as bad as maybe some of the folks that are watching, because there might be some of you out there that just refused to take a loss on anything. I took a loss. I sold Tesla today. Sold the rest of it. Yeah. I think that Tesla continues to fall from here. And just looking at the chart doesn't mean that I won't be back in, but you don't have to be married to this stuff. There's always an opportunity to buy back into whatever it is that you love. But you didn't write vows to any stock that you bought for better or for worse. You can sell it.
Yeah. There was 2 things I wanted to come away from this, that I wanted to make a point of people taking away from this live stream. One is, you keep saying the market's selling off. The market's not selling off. Your account's selling off. And so the question is, we spent so much time talking about rotational, and full disclosure, we didn't even do it enough. Like, let's be honest. Yeah. We didn't do it enough. Hindsight's 2020. But the one thing is making sure you differentiate the market selling off and the shit in your account selling off, because those are 2 very different things, people. The other thing is, for all you Monday morning quarterbacks, it's easy to sit here and say, I predicted this, I predicted that, all that other good stuff. And like, for you to say, this is when you should buy in, right? Yeah. So like, if somebody says, Q3, the stocks will come back, that's when you need to get into growth stocks. Number one, you have no clue. Right. But nobody has a clue. It's your best guess. If so, you better give a basis on it, because a lot of people are in the business of saying random shit but not giving any basis or context behind it. Right. If you throw enough shit at the wall, something's going to stick. So I'm not saying this to like critique anybody. I'm saying I could throw enough shit at the wall, like have a basis behind it, because you people who are saying growth stocks not until then, or I predicted this or predicted that, you are the same people when Brad did a video on rotational and growth stocks, when we were saying MGM's cheap, when we were saying airlines are cheap, when we were saying all this stuff, cyclicals, like, you weren't buying. Yeah. You weren't buying it because growth stocks were moving. And all I'm saying is that maybe now's the time to buy growth stock. Maybe now's not the time to buy growth stock. We're going to give our answer to that question. But the reality is, these growth stocks feel a lot like those other rotationals when growth was going off. Yeah. And nobody wanted to get into it. Right. And now you're chasing. And so it's really tough to sit in it and figure out where my conviction lies. Look at Aunt Kathy. Aunt Kathy's overall accounts down. You think she's freaking out? To be honest, probably not. No. Right? She keeps buying. If you trust your due diligence, you can't allow the emotion of what anybody says in the comments or what the market's doing. You got to understand what you truly feel like something's valued at. It is very easy to say Zoom will go down, Peloton will go down. Right. I called it. Well, there's a lot of shit you called that didn't go down. There's a lot of shit you called that went up that were called to go up that went down. That's not the point, right? The point is to do your own due diligence, to also to be real. And a lot of your success is going to come silencing the noise and seeing, like, on a red day when Penn's down, this stock isn't worth $83. Right. well, I got to figure out when I want to get in, but the reality is it's a steal.
Yeah. And that's what we talk about, the power of scale. And I see a lot of people losing their shit because I sold Tesla today. That's just the fact of the matter, guys. Like, it doesn't matter how I feel about Tesla or how you feel about Tesla. The market's not, you don't get to tell a market what to do. It's going to tell you what to do. And so, am I still bullish on Tesla? Yeah. I'm just waiting for it to figure its life out. And I'm not going to sit here and endure the pain while it just continues to go down. And I actually looked at the chart, and I guess we'll just go ahead and look at the chart on Tesla because I know probably a lot of people are asking about it. Could I be making a mistake by selling Tesla? Perhaps. But I'm going to be using the funds on Tesla to move into some of the more cyclical plays that have actually been working and the ones that have actually been winning and making money on. And that's how you win. You don't just... I mean, there's definitely a case for averaging down when it makes sense, but you can't average down on everything. You gotta add the stuff that you're actually making money on. And so when I looked at Tesla, it broke below a pretty crucial support at 663. It's sitting at 661 now. There is potential for this to go lower. Now, is this the bottom for it? Maybe, but I don't know. And I'm not going to sit here and continue to try to figure that out. So so I took Tesla. I'm looking to buy some more of the energy related stocks because they're going to continue to roll. The cyclical plays like the Under Armour, like you look at things that people are going to be spending money on, like the discretionaries and that sort of thing, the retail shops and stuff like that. And that's where I'm putting my money. I'll be back in Tesla. Maybe I'll be back. Maybe I won't be back as low as I sold it, but either way, I'm not going to sit here and just endure the pain when I know that I can be having other opportunities. And this isn't to say that I'm just, and let's take a look at it here. So this isn't to say that I'm just like reacting emotionally. I'm just seeing the writing on the wall. I'm down on a bunch of stuff, so I had to get rid of something, and Tesla was just the one on the list for today.
Yeah, it is a fine line, and it is, it takes a lot to do that. And like the whole diamond hand culture, honestly, it's comical. It's a joke.
Yeah.
But I mean, knowing you, and we've had these conversations, you're looking at it unemotionally.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting. Do me a favor, check a stock for me. Check out Tattooed Chef. I just want to know what it's doing. I haven't seen it in a while. I wonder if it's green.
People love these tattoos. Oh no, it's down 4.5%, 4.25%.
How is it? Just pull it out a little bit. Let's see. It's
continued to just downtrend forever since everybody's been talking about it.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know. I was just checking. My bad.
Was that a troll?
No, nobody asked about it. I personally was asking about it. I was just wondering. I think everybody's good at predictions. So that was one a lot of people were predicting. So
oh yeah, it's been downtrending since September.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it's not doing as well as some people have predicted. So just the point is, like, you too could be wrong about the stocks you pick.
Yeah, that you've been buying for the last 8 months.
So
and gone nowhere with.
Let's be careful of calling the kettle black, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we're the first ones to admit we don't get it right every time.
Yeah.
We get it right a lot more than we do wrong, and that's kind of like the name of the game. But
my point is, you can't come up here and say, I called, you guys said this and I called it was going down. I could do that same thing to you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do it.
For sure.
But I just wanted to know where Tattooed Chef was.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Keeps
going.
Wait,
is there an uptrend?
No.
Oh, downtrend.
Not
okay.
one. Not one.
Just checking.
Since September.
Just checking.
Since September.
What's up, Peter Foreman? And SPACs are getting their butts handed to them. Disney is looking juicy.
Let's take a look at it. We can take a look at that. As I'm pulling this up, though, we got a big day in earnings, too. We got about 5 minutes before the market closes. Why don't you chat about that for a little bit while I pull this up?
Yeah, so we got a few earnings, but the ones we're really going to focus on are Peloton and Square. So we've got Roku, we've got AMC. If anybody cares about Beyond Meat, but I think for us, the ones we're going to immediately react to and we're going to discuss are Square, Peloton. Roku was one to probably maybe keep an eye on.
AMC's maybe AMC. We'll see.
Yeah, but Peloton and Square are really the ones that I think we're most interested in. I don't want to say excited because that's not the right word.
Yeah.
Interested in.
Yeah, looking at Disney right now, it is This one is another one that doesn't make sense as to why it's been selling off, especially as they're reopening Disneyland and everything like that. Their earnings come out very soon, I think. When was their last earnings? Are they next week? Disney's earnings maybe next week?
That's a good question. I do not know.
If they are, you can guarantee they'll be on Stockwatch Sunday. I think their earnings are going to be great. I think Disney's a great buy here.
People are in here trying to convince Tattooed Chef is a buy.
Not happening.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Maybe. It's got to change directions first.
It's beaten down like everything else is beaten down.
That's worse.
So all right. So you want to start with Roku?
So Roku is down 7% today. If they come in here, I'm nervous about Roku because of the way that Netflix came out with their earnings, and they weren't great, and they slowed down on subscribers and active users, all that stuff. Well, they don't have active users, but subscribers. And I think that this is something that I'm nervous for. If they go the way of Netflix, Roku could be one of those situations in which if you beat earnings, you get punished. If you miss earnings, you get thrown to the wolves. I mean, you just get set on fire. If you miss earnings. So if they miss anything, then it might be a bad day for Roku. But man, yeah, I'd be nervous if I was a Roku investor at this point.
Yeah, I am a little bit nervous about Roku for the short term, especially we talked about this before. Sure. When you have a monster beat, which they did last earnings, it's already the odds are already stacked against you because the expectations are high going in it, maybe a little too high. On top of the market climate for tech, I think it presents a challenge, and they're also projecting to have lower numbers than last earnings. So last earnings, they estimated a loss of 5 cents a share. They came in at 49 cents, absolutely smoked it. 1,000% beat. Now, instead of a loss of 5 cents, they're actually predicting a greater earnings per share loss of 13 cents. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't see 49 cents coming anywhere near that number. And if by some chance they beat, but it's still a negative, and there's still a loss, I think they get hammered.
Yeah, I do too. They have to. I don't know what Roku has to do in order to get people to buy this. I just don't know if that happens today.
Yeah, the other one's Square. So PayPal had great earnings.
Square's going to have great earnings too.
Square should have great earnings, and Square, I think, is in a little bit of better position because of their exposure to the reopening, to hospitality, their POS systems. Yeah. I don't know if that comes into play yet. I think we're still about 6 months before that comes into play for a company like Square. However, they did beat last quarter, had solid earnings.
Yeah.
They came in, reported 32 cents last quarter. This quarter, they're estimated at 16 cents a share. I think they probably come around what they did last quarter. 32 cents seems like it's possible.
Yeah.
If not better than that. But again, the climate, tech, does the market not favor fintech?
This is something that I think, the fintech has just been beaten down like crazy. So I don't know what, like I said, like this is another situation where Roku, I don't know what Square has to do in order to get people to buy it. But we've talked about this being a tech stock that's also a reopening play. I mean, small businesses are going to continue to use Square for the point of sales systems. So I just don't know. You just have to wait and see as far as Square is concerned and see how the market reacts on their earnings. But I think that if you somehow get another opportunity to perhaps grab some Square around 220, 215, I think that's going to be a good opportunity for it as it continues to fall after hours. I just would be surprised, and I guess at this point nothing should be surprising if this falls below 200 again. But classic double top here. When it went all up to 283 and just recently back up there and got rejected and never came back. Classic double top, got rejected. And I think that, Square's going to be a buy. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, for sure. If it goes below 200, that's going to be wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's worth what it's at now. That's just my thoughts.
I think so too.
Peloton's the last one. Now, Peloton's an interesting situation. For those of you who called that it dropped, it actually doesn't matter that you called it because the reason it dropped has nothing to do with anything you could have predicted. So from a valuation perspective, that's a whole different factor.
Yeah.
what happened with them is Peloton, regardless of what you think about it fundamentally, they had some issues with their treadmill, 39 cases of accidents, injuries, 1 death, a child death. This has happened. This happened before. It's not recent. It just came to light.
Yeah.
By an investigation.
The pitchforks and the torches came out.
Regulation, yeah. And so the problem is, essentially what happened is they recalled their treadmills. They did not, the CEO initially did not. He fought it. I think it made it worse. And then yesterday he announced that they recalled the treadmills. The only good thing is that he did it before earnings. But that's why it sold off.
Yeah.
Not even anything fundamentally, just the recall and, bringing to light, to the forefront this death, which is sad. So they recalled it. They're looking to address it. I don't know if the numbers matter. This is going to be really interesting. But if you look at it, loss of 12 cents a share was their estimates. They came in at 18 cents. They haven't had a loss since May of 2020. I don't
Here's
know.
the other
I'd be
thing, though.
surprised
The
if it was.
125,000 treadmills that they're recalling, they're giving full refunds for, too.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
So that's
I'm
a
not
huge
sure that's
cost.
in this number though.
It won't be, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that it'll be addressed. And that's one of the big reasons why this probably had this huge red day,
Yeah.
because that's going to be a huge cost to incur.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to hear. I'm sure a lot of the call is going to be surrounding that. They're going to address it, but I'm not sure that anything could make this thing run. But we'll see.
After hours right now, it's up slightly. And then Square's up slightly as well. Roku is down slightly. So these are the big three that are probably worth taking a look at. There's a couple of other earnings here after hours as well. AMC definitely on the docket. Beyond Meat, Dropbox, I'm sure that they'll probably might be worth taking a look at. But these are the major ones. Peloton, I'll just go through the 5-minute chart so we can kind of get real-time action on this thing. But so far, it's moving up. It's 85.40 right now after hours. Maybe earnings did come in here. We'll see. So far, it is moving pretty good. It's up 3%. Still early yet, but, man, this thing is starting to get a move on. $86.50 now is the...
All right.
The high after hours trading. Square starting to move. Now here's the running theme though too. Something like this will pop off, and maybe they have some promising numbers, and then all of a sudden it sells off tomorrow, or it won't last.
I still think. So Dropbox beat estimates.
Yeah, earnings per share on Dropbox were 35 cents, estimated 30 cents. Sales 511 million compared to the 505. So they beat, but it wasn't anything that I think was probably spectacular. Still waiting on some Peloton numbers here, as well as Roku and Square. But Peloton's moving like the earnings are out, so we'll wait and see what we got. All right.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
Peloton's earnings were a loss of 3 cents. They beat the loss of 12-cent estimate. Their sales are $1.13 billion, and compared to the estimated 1.1. So they did beat, and it looks like they beat pretty decent. So that's what's causing Peloton to move. We'll see if this actually sustains though, because it's still early. We're 5 minutes into the after hours trading. It's only up 2% off of earnings beat. So. Not like holding my breath, and I don't know if any of you should either, but it's at least promising.
Do we still believe in Chamath? I still believe in Chamath.
Absolutely.
No reason not to.
Absolutely.
Drive Shack has earnings tomorrow.
Drive Shack has earnings tomorrow. DraftKings has earnings tomorrow morning. They'll be out pre-market. But, yeah, we love Drive Shack. Another perfect reopening play. All right, so just looking at Peloton after hours is trading at just barely green, 1.65%. Had a nice little pop there and is now selling off yet again. Square is dead even after hours trading, so no numbers on them just yet, and Roku is about the same. We did get earnings from Dropbox. We can just take a look at Dropbox here real quick.
What up, Snookeroo? What's up? Peloton hit the 2 million paid fitness subscribers. That was the number I was looking for. 2.08 million.
That's awesome. That's actually
paid digital
awesome.
subs up 404% year over year. Really, next quarter is the one that matters because that's when
Next quarter is going to be big. I think subs are up 404% according to Arfin. That's nuts. I think you look at Peloton, people keep trying to explain to me that it's a fad. And I just don't know how it is a fad.
No, it's not.
There's more to it than the bike. They have the business model is way different than like it used to be, right? Because remember Bowflex back in the day?
Yeah.
Legit, laundry hanger, clothes hanger. You just throw all your shit on there. But Bowflex was just a product, and there's nothing else to back that up to keep you using it. Whereas like Peloton, it's actual community, it's interactive, it's more or less a social media platform for people who are getting into fitness or who are into fitness. So I think there's just so much more to that, and their churn rate is ridiculous. Once they suck people in, they're not leaving.
Yeah, if you get out of the technicals and start having a fundamental conversation about a business, and you just talk about a business. If you were just literally somebody approached you with the business model,
yeah,
a part of your business plan is like what you're selling, what your product is, right? All that other stuff.
Yeah.
They sell bikes, but really
they sell
the
a service.
community is what is their differentiator.
The platform, yeah.
Like their business model is based around their community, and their real product is the subscriptions. Like that's really their core competency, because otherwise, why would you do anything other than a bike?
Right.
They have a rowing machine that's coming out. They have their treadmill, obviously. They're going corporate. So they understand that like those tastes and trends are going to change. Spin
Yes.
might not be around in 10 years, but I'll tell you what will be around, their community will be around.
Yeah.
And so that's so huge, and what every company wants and what they have, and nobody's really been able to replicate it in their space.
I see somebody saying that, but isn't Peloton a stay-at-home stock? And I think that's what it was labeled. But I think you also have to consider the fact that during the stay-at-home, plays, and as it was being labeled a stay-at-home stock, they also have Precor, which has gym equipment all in public gyms. So anytime the gyms open up and they need new Precor products, that's Peloton. There's more revenue going in Peloton's pocket. So I think that they've been able to diversify themselves enough to be able to sustain. I do think that the valuation's still a bit high, but you can make arguments as to how it could grow into that valuation. Looking at Square right now, it is down 4% after hours. Don't have numbers on those just yet, but it looks as if those earnings did come out. It fell as low as 210.25. Looks like it's kind of getting wrecked, but it's still early. Let's see here. Roku is still flat on the day, so I don't know if we actually have numbers from Roku just yet, but it looks as if Square's numbers might have come in. All right. And Square's starting to go back to green here. What a wild after-hours trading session this is for Square. Damn. Dropbox is still up. Dropbox is all over the place too. Here we go, Square. Square's now going green here after hours. It's up to 3%, 3.5%. All right. Square's numbers are out. Still just trying to get those numbers in real quick.
Just want to shout out Peter Foreman. I appreciate you being transparent in your comment. I'm taking pains sticking to IPOF, IPOD, Clover, Open Door, Rocket, Penn, Microsoft, Apple, Palantir, Big C, Fastly, ASML, and Mara. I don't know if these are all your positions. Maybe these are just ones that are red. However, the one thing I want to say to you is how much of your, like a lot of these are like similar plays that are all spec, but they're in the same vein. If you're buying IPOF, you're buying IPOD for the same exact reason.
Yeah.
And even Clover, they're all going to move in a similar direction.
Right.
Open Door, same thing, right? Like you can do all those, but like, why don't you just pick one or two that are your highest conviction ones? But then this is just tech heavy, spec heavy. Yeah. Thinking about your diversification, what are your how much leverage is on the reopening as well. So things to consider. I think that's a perfect example of what we talk about. I'm glad you said it, not to call you out, but more to say this is very common where we get caught up in the ones that were moved and now we're over leveraged. And so when tech goes down, our whole account gets smashed.
Yeah. I just wanted to go back to Peloton real quick because I see that Jason Toscano says Planet Fitness has, all the things that you need. What did he say? Let me scroll back up here. Brought up like a Planet Fitness has more equipment, sauna, shower, merchandise, more elliptical and weightlifting. Here's the thing, Jason, and anybody else who wants to make that same argument. Guess who now owns all of the equipment that are in Planet Fitness?
Peloton.
Peloton, for Christ's sake, do some DD. Square is all over the place right now. Still waiting on those numbers. Okay, so adjusted earnings per share, including losses from investment in DoorDash, beats estimates at 16 cents. These numbers are a little bit
17 cents beat.
Sorry, 17 cents beats the 16-cent estimate. Thank you. So they actually beat, and I think the reaction seems to be a bit mixed here.
Is this right? Revenue sales $5 billion. The estimates were 3.33. That's huge.
Oops. Yeah. So $5 billion beats their 3.3 billion estimate. That is crazy.
It's 41 cents a share was the earnings that came in, and 16 was the estimate.
Oh, for Square?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just to clarify. So for clarification, it's 41 cents per share was their estimate or their actual. So yeah, so they blasted it out of the water.
Freaking earnings. That is incredible.
Again, the theme that's been running, this should, by all accounts, run up, right? So just be careful and cautious about this. Roku looks as if they have earnings that are now out. This is also a little bit all over the place. It's up 5.5% right now. Did briefly go red. Look, this thing is wild right now. Roku is going all over the place. Square's maintaining its green.
So I got
movement. Go ahead.
I got. I'm looking for the earnings per share, but there are some numbers that came out here. So net revenue grew 79% year over year to $574 million.
We're talking about Square?
Sorry, Roku. Gross profit was up 132%, added 2.4 million active accounts.
Jesus.
They're at 53.6 million. Average revenue per user up 32% year over year, which is solid. Earnings per share 54 cents.
54 cents.
God damn.
Jesus.
Jeez,
well, I mean,
Louise.
you can't do any better. I mean, honestly, like, what else do you need Roku to do in order for you to buy it at this point? It's up 6%.
PW Coaching said I wouldn't work out for free at Planet Fitness. It is a garbage gym.
It is pretty bad. It is pretty bad.
Oh man. Sorry, I'm doing something on here. I just want
Is it safe to say if you're going to Planet Fitness, you're not buying a Peloton anyway?
Very safe to say. Let's say it this way. You are not Peloton's target demographic.
Yeah.
You're not their target market.
That's fair. Okay.
Bro, I got good news.
What's up?
I have decided, and I'm in the process of reinstating my Fat Man Zoom shit list on Twitter. And it is going to include, and I'm going to be transparent, call you guys out.
Hey.
As much as it hurts me to say this, because if you're on here, I'm not discriminating. I don't care how old you are. I don't care your gender. I don't care anything. Your nationality.
Roku's rocking.
Everybody's fair game. Stephen, Justin, Jason Toscano, you are now on my Twitter shit list. There will be more people on it. I've been wanting to start it back up. Now is the best time. I'm going to quote you. I'm going to pin that shit, and you're going to be stuck to your word. So we'll both go at it. We'll see.
Yeah.
You might be right. Mm-hmm. I might be wrong.
Man, there's so much that's down. It's like, what do you buy? I'm thinking I really want Uber. Here's a couple other things that I've been adding to that I might continue adding to as we're looking at giving our reactions to some of these earnings. And Roku's still crushing it.
Yeah, looks great.
Roku's the clear winner after hours trading right now. But OIH is one that I've been continuing to roll into. So if you guys are looking for exposure to energy, I actually ended up getting into OIH yesterday, average price is around $198. And I think this is going to be something that probably rolls. This is an oil services ETF that's actually lagged oil quite a bit. You know, last time oil was around this price, OIH was sitting around 390.
Yeah.
And it's at 207. So the lag here for the industry is crazy. So that's why I ended up buying into it. I wanted some exposure. This is something that I've actually started to move into. So I might move into that a little bit more.
Yeah. No, you don't get on my shit list if you disagree. There's a ton of people that disagree. If you troll and spam, don't worry. I'm going to write the specific stuff that you say. One thing I will say, from a consumer standpoint, more equipment for cheaper is a great business model for most people. If you know business, that's actually incorrect, and you'll learn this as time goes on. That's called cost leadership strategy. Look it up. It's actually the worst. Like, if you ranked all the strategies that you could do, that's literally the bottom. It's the worst one. It's the one that could get you moving the quickest, but actually it's the one that could guarantee that you get out of business as well. It's just a horrible business model.
There's such thing as growing too fast.
Cost leadership strategy. It's actually horrible. That's what Planet Fitness uses. BYND?
Yeah, they had earnings today as well.
I didn't see anything.
A competitor to
Peloton.
Tattooed Chef, by the way. And they are down.
I mean, almost followed the same path as Tattooed as far as like how much a year ago, like people were talking about Tattoo Chef now, everybody was talking about BYND the same exact way.
When it IPO'd, this is one of the last big shorts that I had was on Beyond Meat, and I crushed it.
But it's funny, people forget that, right?
Yeah.
So again, we don't know what's going to happen with Tattooed Chef. Do what you want with it, but you sound exactly like the BYND people. Pull that out.
Oh, this. So let's just go out to the monthly. So this is what happened. So their IPO happened. It came out at $45. I shorted it up at $250 or $240 almost.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. This hit $240. I shorted it in the 200s. I think maybe it was around $220 or so, and then rode that bitch all the way down to $80.
I mean, it's a good brand. I'll say that, but man, it's definitely got some struggles. Asymmetrically, it actually could play technically.
On the monthly, it's holding quite well in the 1-teens.
Yeah.
But
so I wouldn't be mad at that, but from a long term.
But it's down 6% after hours because I guess they missed earnings.
Yeah, so they missed their estimates were a loss of 19 cents. They came at a loss of 42 cents.
Ooh, that hurts.
Sales missed as well. Basically what you were saying, 113 was the estimates, 108. So not only did they not beat, they missed. So like they were facing a challenge either way.
Yeah. Here's the thing about the food industry, and you know this. What are margins like in the food industry? Hospitality, grocery
really
stores.
Challenging.
Yeah.
Really challenging.
Razor thin. So if you have one supply chain issue, you have one thing that could go wrong, and then it throws everything off. So this is the challenge with the Beyond Meat and even a Tattooed Chef, and even the grocery stores like Kroger and stuff like that. Kroger is probably an exception to the rule because they do things that are so well. But you look like a Kraft Heinz, like all of those food industries, while they are doing better, the profit margins are just so razor thin, and that goes for hospitality as well. Like it's just so hard to come in and expect to be earnings quarter in and quarter out.
If you forced me to pick one, I think I probably would go with Tattooed Chef. I think Beyond Meat has a good product, but I think the odds are stacked against him, specifically from a margin perspective. And so if I had to pick one, I would still probably go with Tattooed Chef. I think there's more opportunity for it upside, and I think they have a greater opportunity of like creating margin.
Yeah.
But I'm iffy on either one. I'm not interested to get in there. Oh, that's hilarious, Greg. Fake meat stocks are worse than Doge. I hear where you're going with that. I wouldn't say that now. People keep asking about Etsy. Oliver Snook.
So Etsy got wrecked a little bit today too, and they're.
Ooh, I like that bet.
I think that this is something that could potentially be a buy as well. The thing about Etsy, I think it's just going the way of the same thing that Shopify did, Amazon did. It just continued to fall. It was a bad day. I think that Etsy's going to be fine. I just don't see why or where I would want to sell this if I owned it, especially if you've owned it for a while. In the S&P, prior to the S&P inclusion, I mean, it's just done considerably well. I don't think that Etsy goes away anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think it's either. Another opportunity. It might take some time. Yo, I got my first bet. I got my first bet. And you know me. Yeah. Be honest.
Fat Man Zoom doesn't lose bets.
Do I ever lose a bet? No. Steven Justice, bro, even though you're on my shit list, I like a good bet. He will bet me that Tattooed Chef does better than Clove from today till the end of December 31st, 2022.
That's too far out. 2021.
2022. Oh, 2021.
Yeah, it's 18 months from now. That's the kind of time frame we're going with.
I don't care. I'm patient. That makes the bigger stakes. 2021, 1,000%. I'll take that bet.
Yeah.
Percentage basis?
Oh, he corrected himself. 2021. Yeah.
Bet. What is the wager? Let me know.
Percentage, yeah.
I will crush your dreams, friend. I will crush your dreams. You tell me what. I love that bet. Is that easy money or no? Should I take that bet?
I mean, depending on
Be honest with me.
Depending on, yeah, I would.
Would you take the bet?
The healthcare sector this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm taking that over anything in the food industry.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be wearing a Fat Man Zoom onesie, bro.
I like this one. Imagine being hyped on frozen food. Imagine defending a company.
I will say, listen, if it's making me money, I don't care what it is. It could be freaking Beanie Babies.
But people get so emotionally attached to this stuff. It's hilarious.
Steven Justice, tell me the wager. Quit trying to make your point. I accepted it. Tell me the wager, because I'm going to have you wearing one of those freaking Snuggies.
Oh, my God.
Are those what they're called?
OIH is still going, bruh. Look at this after hours. First of all, let me go back to this.
What's that?
This pattern right here, this breakout, this is where I bought this at. This breakout over the 50-day. Yeah. Going to continue to roll here. Yeah. After hours, it is at 208, 207.88.
Yeah, guys, smack that like button. How many people we got in the house?
In the house right now, we got 223 of you guys, 54 likes, which is okay, I guess. And if you guys are just joining us for the first time, I encourage you to check us out. We're going to be actually changing some things up. We've been doing a lot of discussions. And hit the like button if you guys want us to go live every day, because I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, we're talking about Sunday through Thursday.
Sunday through Thursdays. Obviously, we'll do Stock Watch Sunday, but just making this 3:30 p.m. kind of like a staple of the channel, and maybe just continuing to lean into live streams. So hit the like button if that's something that you're into. You guys want to see us every day like that.
Yo, man, Steven Justice went awfully silent when I called his ass out. Where you at, bro? Who wants some? I ain't backing down for any of you.
All right, so just to kind of give you
I ain't scared.
Just to kind of give you a little bit of a recap of what has gone on today. We talked about a couple of things. What stocks have kind of gotten beaten down, and we gave you a whole list of them, what we think are good opportunities. We also gave you our reaction to some of the earnings. Square came out and absolutely crushed earnings, and the fact that it's up only 1.8% is criminal. Roku did crush earnings even more, is the highlight of the day, and is up 6% after hours. BYND laying a big fat egg. They missed earnings badly. And then Dropbox is actually doing pretty well. They beat earnings pretty decent. And so that's pretty much the highlights for this afternoon. It's been an interesting earnings season, bro, because like these companies have been knocking it out of the park, giving good guidance, most of them. And the market's reacting this way. I think, though, this is more or less a correction in certain areas and certain sectors of the market, obviously. But watch them catch fire later in the year.
Yeah. We thought this was very much a possibility. Guys, in all seriousness, I've been kind of like feeding the trolls today and joking around. One, we're humans just like everybody else, so we're going to be real. I think that's the one thing we try to provide for this channel. We're just giving perspective. We're trying to create a community. And what we definitely try to do is we're not giving advice. We're saying, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're creating a strategy on. And here's what we've learned. And we learn from each other. So part of it is tongue in cheek. None of this shit I take offense to, but don't come at me because I'm gonna come at you. And I enjoy a good trash talk. I enjoy sports, so we trash talk.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's about education. It's about people coming correct. And if you're part of Own the Chaos, like I said last time, you got to come correct. Come with your due diligence. We can all disagree. So I just want to put that out there. And what we've talked about and we've had a conversation about, which was just a prediction of ours, was like year over year, it's going to be tough for these stocks to outperform. Yeah. And we're seeing that play out, but it's not changing our confidence in these companies. We've talked about opportunities that are being created. And when we look at this chart at the end of the year, what is this point in time going to look like, right? Yeah. Are we going to have higher highs beyond this, or is it going to continue to downtrend? We don't know, but if I'm a betting man, I don't think these levels we're going to be at these levels by the end of the year.
Short interest in the market is as low as we've seen since the early 2000s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So that's just pin that in your hat. Hakeem, welcome to the crew. Welcome to the channel. Says he's new to the channel. So
who is it?
Appreciate you. It says Hakeem.
Oh, Hakeem.
Jason Toscano also says that the Eagles are going to be better than the Ravens this year, which
that's a horrible bet.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I told him I'm only doing one bet per stream, so I'm not going to bet Jason. But if you want to make that bet, that's easy money, bro.
Yeah.
That is easy
Venmo
money.
me.
I want Sunday to Thursday live stream topless. Justice never told me what he wanted. He said it's done, but he never told me what the wager was going to be.
Did you see the Ravens O-line, how much they all weigh and what they all add up to? It's like 1,600 pounds of O-line.
No, I didn't see that.
It's just unbelievable, bunch of big dudes, man. It'll be crazy. It'll be interesting to see how this year plays out.
Steven, email me at team@WeTradeHQ.com. And so we got the price.
All right, hit him up at FatmanZoom on Twitter.
Sorry, yeah, do that. That's better. FatmanZoom on Twitter. Good
make
job.
it public.
So right now, Clover's price is $8.31. Tattooed Chef is $16.95. We're locking it in. We'll figure out the wager later. I don't bet money, but I bet embarrassment. I will embarrass your ass. And so we'll figure out a good deal. Shoot me something on I know you said you don't have Twitter, but you're going to have to create a Twitter account. Be careful what I'm drinking. I might start drinking for this. Peloton's getting
the
crushed.
Ricky's coming out in Fatman Zoom.
Normally I'd be off the stream by now. I'm like ready to go, but I'm feeling it.
I'm feeling it
trash
today.
talk.
This is a good day. The market sucked, but I'm having a good day. Look at this.
Of Zamunda.
This is what we're talking about. Square, look at this. Knocked it out of the park. This shit's going to go red. This is what sucks.
Does Square open red?
Yeah.
Does Roku open red?
Ooh. I don't know. I just don't know what else you want from Roku. You know, in a quarter where people thought that it was going to slow down and it didn't, and it just like absolutely crushed it. What else do you want? What else do you want? So I don't know. And same thing for Square too. I think it's just more of a patient thing. I mean, we talk about that all the time. The stock market is, irrational longer than you can be rational. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So we got Stock Watch Sunday on Sunday.
Yep.
We got a video out. So guys, make sure you like and subscribe because we do have a video coming out tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah.
And so tomorrow night we'll have a video out. We'll probably do it as a premiere, get in there. And then Sunday we'll be on our live stream. I'm looking forward to Stock Watch Sunday. It'll be good to be back in the mix. We'll have a good one this week. But guys, this was a red zone day. Tomorrow might be a red zone day.
Yep, because it's Friday.
No mistake about it. It's a red zone day.
Yeah.
And we love it. Just be prepared. I would be hesitant to buy anything before the market opens. I'd wait till 45 minutes to an hour till after the market opens, or I'm going to wait till after it opens to see where things are at before I do anything tomorrow. Is that fair?
That's fair.
All right. That's all I got.
That's going to do it for us, guys. If you wouldn't mind, on your way out, hitting that like button, we certainly would appreciate it. Pushes us out a little bit more. I don't know. Rumor has it that it does something for the YouTube algorithm. We'll see if that happens. We're still trying to figure it out. So hit the like button on your way out. That's going to do it for us, guys. Again, hit the join button next to subscribe as well if you want to get a daily watch list from us in great detail. If you guys are having trouble finding stocks to play or stocks to watch in the morning, we kind of take that guesswork out for you and give you that as a perk for being part of the Chaos Crew. So hit the join button, become a channel member, be a part of the crew. That's going to do it for me. As always, we'll see y'all before the bell. Brad Smith, Fat Man Zoom. We out.
Bye.
See ya. See you guys.
I'll bust anybody's ass at a bet. Bring it. Doge to the moon.